We're ignoring you. All right,
Kyrie Irving.
We were going to move on anyway. Let's talk about Kyrie Irving, guys. Kyrie Irving, who is never happy, maybe the most miserable athlete in the history of professional sports, is on the move again. Brad, let's start with you. Are you surprised? I mean, we know that Kyrie is an immensely talented player. To me, the juice is no longer worth the squeeze when it comes to Kyrie.
Listen,
Are you surprised Dallas went all in on him?
Well, I'm not surprised that there was a market for Kyrie Irving out here. You think of a team like Dallas, who is in need in 6th place in the Western Conference. They need a splash. They've never been able to team up anybody with Luka Doncic, right? They felt like they had to go all in and do something of catastrophic consequences, and that's what it's going to be, because I don't know. Kyrie Irving has so much. There's no question he's a talented basketball player. There's no question. It is the extras that come, and after a while, people just get tired, right? They were tired when he left here. They were tired when he went to Boston. When he left Boston, they were tired. At the end, the Nets organization just said, screw it.
Get him out.
You out.
Yeah.
The one place you're not going, Lakerland.
Right.
Not with us.
Yeah.
Right. I'm surprised they ain't shipping him to the worst team in basketball and say, just give me some future picks for in year 30, 33.
Man, you know what? I would have, I think sometimes they don't want to, and that's what front office do. They don't want to, because these young kids come up and they look up to these dudes. So it'd be like, okay, I'm not going to ship Kyrie Irving to Siberia because then he might have the same agent, or he may know a dude and they see how they treat free agents. But at the end of the day, man, I just knew it was a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before he's going to roll out. And I think his eventual destination will be L.A. I think, LeBron lobbied for it, and I think he lobbied for it hard. Now, I don't know, I got no inside information like Jason or any of that, but if you look at the Lakers roster, I think what really separated and really stopped that trade is because Kevin Durant won nothing with Russell Westbrook. He won no parts of that reunion.
And the Nets owner didn't want to send him to the team he wanted to be on.
Yeah, there's a two-track story.
It is amazing, though, that Kyrie forced his way out of here because he wanted to be the guy, and now he wants to go play with LeBron. Here's the thing, guys. Kyrie's won 2 playoff series without LeBron in his career. 2.
Yes.
Well, we don't have to go to that. Here, I'm going to keep going back to it. The talent level is immense. There's no question. One of the best basketball players on the face of this planet. It is the extras.
Yeah.
It is the extra that is dragging us down in the rabbit hole. And at the end of the day, it just becomes, people are just to the point now where it's not worth it. Sometimes the risk is not worth the reward is not worth the risk. And what you just saw is one man basically single-handedly destroy a franchise. He destroyed, because they went to Brooklyn, and this thing was supposed to be the next thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
There was Durant, then there was Harden, and this thing was about to come together. Then COVID came in, and then next thing you know, it just got all blown up.
Yeah.
And the one dude that's blowing it up is the dude they just shipped out of town.
Now, this is good news for the Cavs, I guess, right?
Yeah, there's no question.
We'll take it.
Right? Now you think the Cavs have a good shot of being the 4 seed.
Right.
And they're playing better, obviously. Nice win last night. I think every starter scored 17 points. You got to be crazy at this point to give Kyrie a long-term contract.
I could do it. I could not do it.
Yeah.
I could not do it. Right? I could not, because you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what's going to set him off in another direction.
Right.
Let alone this. I'll ask you to go back, Mikey. Pull up his games played in his career.
Kyrie?
The most games he ever played was 72.
Yeah.
And that was here, right?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's
He's
not
20
just
here, 40 there, 60 here. He's never available.
No.
That's
never
true.
available.
So it's not. So you have the shenanigans off the court,
Right.
but then he's not. He may be great when he's healthy, but he's way too unreliable on the court in terms of being healthy.
For the money that he's talking about.
Yeah.
I can't.
Cannot. It's like,
How many seasons, real quick, G, to Brad's point, how many seasons do you think Kyrie's played 70 or more games in?
Now, in fairness, there was one year it was a lockout in the COVID year.
I think
Probably only one.
one.
He's played over 73 times, all
Okay.
in Cleveland. 71, 75, 72.
Yeah. See, that's sad.
And
Better league.
read about the rest of them. What did the rest of the years look like?
You ready for this?
Yeah, come on.
It's pretty ugly. By the way, he
ugly.
played 74 games with Kevin Durant total.
In
In
totality.
4 seasons.
In four seasons.
That's
or 3.5
amazing.
seasons. But
That's
his
amazing.
games
Well,
by years
give
played.
me the game by years.
51, 59, 71, 75, 53, 72, 60, 67, and then he goes to Brooklyn, 20, 54, 29, 40.
I mean, that's, and the last 4 years, he's played more than 40 games once out of 4 years.
And this is the exact opposite of what we see in the NFL. And I'm all for players, right? I'm usually side on the players with a lot of different things, man.
Yeah.
But when you look at LeBron's generation and the kind of generation after it, if you talk about Larry Bird and Larry Bird and Magic kept the lights on, and then Jordan came in and put them under the lights, right? Put them under the big lights, the spotlights of the world. He became one of the biggest sports in the entire universe. They've kind of chipped away at that. And I know people say, well, that's kind of harsh. But nah, I think when you look at the legacy of the last 20 years, the legacy has to be the big threes. The legacy has to be the max deals. The legacy has to be the amnesties. You got to think about it. At one point in time, there were so many bad contracts out there that the league had to come up with an amnesty rule where you said, hey, that guy is garbage, he don't want to play.
Good point.
We could just get rid of him and it don't count.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of rule is that?
That's kind of crazy.
That's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
It's like you had the Baron Davises of the world and Darius Miles, and it started to a point where they was playing, but they was doing stuff like throwing the ball off the backboard, trying to get triple doubles. They chipped away. Like, come on. They done chipped away a lot at what they've built. And you look at one sport of football where you just dang near got to play dead.
Well,
and you look at basketball and they'll tell you, hey, look, my body tired today. We ain't even going to do that.
So we'll spin this to, and I'm going back to Kyrie here, right? So Kyrie goes to Dallas. I understand why Cuban jumped in on it, because he needed something to go with Luka. This thing when Dallas was tired. Luka out here by himself.
Right.
So now I'm trying to figure out how these two are going to play together, right? Because they're both ball dominant. So
Yeah.
somebody's got to take an off role. And I don't see Luka taking an off role because he likes the ball in his hand, right? So that means Kyrie is where I got to take an off hand here. I want to see how this thing happens.
Well, he's better than he's better, right? You think Luka is better than
Luka's better.
yeah, there's
Not
no
close.
question. There's no
Yeah,
question.
okay,
There's no
yeah,
question.
that's no brainer. So he gonna have to rock, right?
Well, but you're used to a guy who likes the rock in his hand, right?
You gotta give me some touches.
Right, got some
Get the
touches here, right? So we're gonna see how this goes.
We'll see,
But
yeah.
this is gonna be quite interesting. Now they say he's supposed to show up in Dallas today for the physical, right? And then it's gonna maybe be available tomorrow against the Clippers.
Yeah.
Would you put it past him for Kyrie to be like, yeah,
I'll put that past him.
my knee hurt, dog.
Yeah.
And here I'll say this, because first of all, Kyrie's not a dumb guy. He's not a dumb guy. He's an intelligent guy. He just has some views that are
Out of there.
different.
Out of there.
Very different, right?
You know,
And then the other thing, I get from his personal views. There's a code of ethics when you're dealing with in a sports locker room with teammates, right? You cannot sell your people out, right?
that's
Durant's supposed to be his guy. He sold him out.
Talk about that.
And he has on multiple occasions sold his people out.
Yep.
Every one of them.
It's like
Right.
it's like, say for instance,
Sold LeBron out here.
Yep.
Right? Sold out the dudes and Tatum and them in Boston. Right? Because they were his guys. He was under his
was
wing.
his guy,
Yep.
yeah.
Right? Sold them out.
And they were better without him.
Right. Then it goes to Brooklyn. He sells out Harden and Durant. Durant gives him that second chance. We're gonna pull this together.
Yeah.
He comes back again and does what? Sells them out again.
Man, that's like I call this the Martin Lawrence theory. The Martin Lawrence theory. We don't all watch Martin, right? Martin will be having a great old time. He bring over Tommy and Cole, Gina over there, and then all of a sudden he invites you to a house party. You watching the Super Bowl party. He got the Hashitashi up there, the big screen, right? Then you come in there, and all of a sudden He invites you to come through. Y'all get ready to crack the festivities and get some into these libations and this pizza and chicken. And he says, you know what? I don't like that comment Pam said. Everybody is out of here. Get to stepping. What? I drove across town for this, bro. The game is on. Kyrie Irving's the same guy. You brought this dude, Kevin Durant. You said we was good. That's your man.
Right.
You talk about livelihood. This is 4 years of his prime. Y'all ain't old. Y'all ain't young.
I saw people in Cleveland tweeting trying to get him back to come back here.
God, no
I'm like,
thanks.
all right, we can't.